patrol the deserts, swim the oceans, and carry the deadliest weapons in the arsenal. We have assembled a roster that goes far beyond the Humvee, featuring the silent special operations buggies, the massive amphibious cargo haulers, and the nuclear missile carriers. This is the ultimate exploration of the United States wheeled combat fleet. Let's start with the experimental pioneers, 1915 to 1939. Davidson Cadillac, the Genesis. Built in 1915, this was the very first armored car tested by the United States. It was essentially a luxury Cadillac touring car fitted with a machine gun and wrapped in thin steel sheets. While it looked fragile and aristocratic, it proved the revolutionary concept that the automobile could be weaponized for modern war. Jeffrey Armored Car No. 1, the first deployable. Used by General Pershing to hunt Pancho Villa during the Mexican expedition. It featured a rotating turret and solid rubber tires, setting the standard layout for all future designs. However, it struggled mightily in the Mexican mud, teaching the Army valuable early lessons about the need for four-wheel drive and better suspension. King Armored Car, the Marine prototype. The Marine Corps' first attempt at fielding armor in 1916. It was a rugged commercial truck chassis wrapped in boilerplate steel and armed with a Lewis gun. It never saw combat in World War I, but it served as the vital training tool for the first generation of mechanized Marines in Philadelphia. White Armored Car, the Peacemaker. A commercial truck chassis fitted with simple armor plating, used primarily for riot control and guarding government buildings in the 1920s. It kept the concept of the armored car alive during the lean budget years between the world wars, serving as a technological bridge until the military could catch up. M1 Armored Car, the Testbed. A six-wheeled vehicle from the 1930s with a distinct sloping grille and multiple machine gun turrets. It was an experimental platform that tested the suspension systems and drivetrain layouts that would later be perfected in the famous M8 Greyhound, proving that six wheels were superior to four in rough terrain. Next is the World War II Scout Fleet and heavy haulers. M3 Scout Car, the Grandfather. An open-topped 4x4 armored truck with a skate rail that allowed machine guns to slide around the entire perimeter. It was the workhorse of the early war, used by commanders and scouts before better vehicles arrived, famously serving as General Patton's mobile command post during the invasion of North Africa. M6 Gun Motor Carriage, the Mistake. In a desperate need for tank destroyers, the Army bolted a 37mm anti-tank gun onto the back of a standard Dodge truck. It was unarmored and the gun faced backward, meaning the crew had to park, fire, and then try to turn the entire truck around to escape, a deadly design flaw that led to high casualties. M8 Greyhound, the Legend. The definitive scout car of World War II. Fast, quiet, and armed with a 37mm gun, it could hit 55 miles per hour on roads. It famously destroyed a German King Tiger tank during the Battle of St. Vith by sneaking up behind it and firing 3 rounds point-blank into its thin rear engine armor. M20 Armored Utility Car, the Command Car. Essentially an M8 Greyhound with the turret removed and replaced with an open ring mount for a .50 caliber machine gun. It was the preferred high-speed transport for generals and high-priority cargo, allowing them to race across the front lines faster than the tanks could follow. DUKW, the Duck, the Water Truck, a massive 6-wheeled amphibious truck that looked like a boat on wheels. It was crucial for D-Day and the Pacific Island hopping campaigns, carrying supplies from ships directly onto the beach and driving inland without stopping, solving the logistical nightmare of amphibious invasions. Ford GPA, the Seep, the Failure. An attempt to make a swimming Jeep by wrapping a hull around the standard chassis. It was too heavy, sat too low in the water, and often sank in even mild waves. The US hated it, but the Soviet Union loved it for crossing the wide rivers of Eastern Europe. M26 Dragon Wagon, the Savior. A massive, armored heavy tractor designed to recover damaged tanks from the battlefield. It featured a fully armored cab to protect the crew while they winched knocked-out Shermans onto trailers under direct enemy fire, ensuring that American armor strength remained high. M25 Tank Transporter, the Recovery Unit. The combination of the armored M26 tractor and the M15 trailer. It was the only vehicle capable of carrying a 40-ton Sherman tank across the roads of Europe, playing a critical role in the logistics that overwhelmed the German army. T-17E1 Staghound the Heavyweight, a massive four-wheeled armored car built by Chevrolet that was heavily armored for a scout. The U.S. Army thought it was too heavy, but the British loved it for its durability, taking every single one produced and using them to liberate Italy. T-18 Boarhound the Monster, an 8-wheel giant built to hunt tanks the size of a heavy tank but on wheels. Only 30 were made because it was deemed too large to steer on narrow European roads, ending up as a curiosity rather than a combat vehicle. T-55E1 the Alien, a bizarre 8-wheeled tank destroyer prototype that looked like a flat, armored pancake. It sat extremely low to the ground and carried a massive 3-inch gun for ambushes, but the Army preferred tracked vehicles, so it never entered mass production. T-27 Armored Car the Studebaker, a prototype 8-wheeled scout car designed to outperform the Greyhound. It was technically superior in cross-country tests, but was cancelled simply because the Greyhound was already in mass production and winning the war. Next is the Cold War and nuclear age. M249 and M250 atomic cannon trucks, the Atomic Twins, two massive 4x4 tractors designed specifically to pull the Atomic Annie 280mm nuclear cannon. One truck pulled the front while the other pushed the rear, allowing them to steer the massive gun through tight German towns to launch tactical nuclear strikes. HML Hard Mobile Launcher, the Doomsday Truck, a massive, radiation-hardened 8-wheeled vehicle designed to carry the MGM-134 Midgetman nuclear missile. It was built to survive a nearby nuclear blast, digging itself into the earth to ride out the shockwave before launching its missile in retaliation. M38A1 Jeep Armored, the Stopgap. While technically a soft vehicle, many Jeeps in Korea were fitted with makeshift armor plates and recoilless rifles. They served as improvised tank hunters in the steep mountains where heavier tanks couldn't climb, ambushing enemy armor at close range. M422 Mighty Might the Featherweight, a tiny aluminum Jeep designed for the Marines in the 1950s. It was light enough to be carried by early helicopters with low lift capacity. While usually unarmored, it was the lightweight grandfather of the modern fast attack vehicle concept. M274 Mechanical Mule the Platform, a tiny, flatbed 4x4 vehicle with no suspension and a steering column that could be tilted so the driver could walk behind it. It carried ammo and wounded soldiers through the Vietnam jungles where no other vehicle could fit, proving that size isn't everything. XM808 Twister the Articulated Freak, an 8-wheeled experimental vehicle consisting of two separate bodies connected by a pivot joint. It could climb over boulders and twist its body to keep all wheels on the ground, a marvel of engineering that was ultimately too complex and expensive for war. XM800W the Lost Scout, a futuristic, low-profile armored car designed in the 1970s to replace the M113. It featured a 20mm cannon and incredible speed, but it lost the competition to the Bradley fighting vehicle, becoming a forgotten what-if of the Cold War. V100 Commando the Duck, an amphibious, V-hulled armored car built by Cadillac Gauge. Designed for the military police, it became the primary convoy escort in Vietnam, capable of bouncing off mine blasts that would have destroyed a standard truck. M706 the Guardian, the U.S. Army's specific version of the V100 Commando. Armed with twin machine guns in a turret, these vehicles patrolled the dangerous supply routes of Vietnam, fighting off Viet Cong ambushes in the dense jungle. V150 Commando the Upgrade, an improved version of the V100 with a diesel engine and better suspension. While rarely used by the U.S. military, it was exported to allies around the world, serving in dozens of conflicts as a reliable light armored vehicle. LAV-300 the Six-Wheeler, a larger armored car based on the Commando series. It carried a massive 90mm gun turret and was used by reserve units and foreign nations as a cheap tank destroyer, providing heavy firepower on a wheeled chassis. M561 Gamma Goat the Weirdo, a six-wheeled articulated vehicle where the trailer was powered by the engine. It wasn't heavily armored, but it was used for medical evacuation in impossible terrain. It was loud, hot, and impossible to steer, making it one of the most hated vehicles in Army history. M520 Goer the Giant, a massive articulated supply truck used in Vietnam. It was amphibious and huge, designed to carry ammo and fuel through swamps and rivers where normal trucks would sink, ensuring the fire bases stayed supplied during the monsoon season. Vietnam Gun Trucks the Improvised Beasts. When supply convoys were being slaughtered, crews welded steel plates from scrapped ships onto 5-ton cargo trucks. Painted black and armed with miniguns and grenade launchers, they became the kings of the jungle highways, evolving from prey into predators. XR-311, the Dune Buggy, a high-speed attack vehicle prototype designed for special forces in the 1970s. It looked like a Lamborghini Cheetah and, while it never entered full production, its design philosophy directly inspired the creation of the Humvee. Next is the Humvee and CUCV generation. CUCV, Commercial Utility Cargo Vehicle, the civilian. Before the Humvee, the Army used modified Chevy Blazers and pickups painted green. They were cheap and easy to fix, but they had zero armor and low ground clearance, proving once and for all that civilian trucks cannot handle the rigors of frontline war. M998 HMMWV, the original, the high-mobility multipurpose wheeled vehicle that replaced the Jeep. Originally equipped with canvas doors and no armor, it was designed for speed behind friendly lines and was never intended for direct combat patrols, a mistake that cost lives in later wars. M1114 Up-Armored HMMWV, the Shield, the first factory-armored Humvee built in response to the threats in the Balkans and Somalia. It featured heavy steel doors and bulletproof glass to protect crews from snipers and mines, but the added weight severely stressed the engine and suspension. M1151 Enhanced HMMWV, the modern standard, a Humvee designed to carry heavy armor from the start. It features a stronger suspension and a more powerful turbocharged engine to handle the weight of the protective plating without losing mobility. M1165 Command HMMWV, the Tactical Center, a 4-door armored Humvee used by officers and special forces. It is packed with satellite radios and computer systems, allowing commanders to coordinate airstrikes and troop movements while on the move. M997 Maxi Ambulance, the Lifesaver, a Humvee chassis with a large, boxy armored rear compartment. It is designed to carry 4-liter patients and 2 medics, rushing the wounded from the front lines to the field hospitals under armor protection. M1097 Avenger, the Fly Swatter, a Humvee chassis carrying a rotating turret armed with 8 Stinger missiles and a .50 caliber machine gun. It serves as the Army's primary mobile air defense, designed to shoot down drones and low-flying helicopters. M56 Coyote, the Smoker, a specialized Humvee fitted with a massive mechanical smoke generator on the back. It drives in front of tank columns, creating a thick wall of fog to hide friendly movements from enemy lasers and optics. M1109 Up-Armored, the Interim, a rare, early armored Humvee variant used specifically in the late 90s. It was the bridge between the unarmored era and the modern fleets, featuring a unique armor package that looked different from the standard M1114. Next is the Special Operations Speedsters. DPV, Desert Patrol Vehicle, the Buggy, a fast attack buggy used by Navy SEALs in Operation Desert Storm. It looks like a Mad Max vehicle, armed with heavy machine guns and capable of hitting 80 miles per hour across the sand dunes to strike deep behind enemy lines. GMVS Dumv, the Stripped Humvee, a Humvee used by Green Berets with the doors, roof, and windows removed to save weight. It is packed with extra machine guns and ammo, relying on overwhelming firepower rather than armor protection to survive. Flyer 72, GMV 1.1, the New Breed, a highly mobile, airdroppable vehicle used by Rangers and Green Berets. It is designed to fit inside a Chinook helicopter, allowing special operators to roll out of the aircraft ready to fight immediately. Polaris Dager, the Ultralight, a compact combat vehicle used by the 82nd Airborne and Delta Force. It can be sling-loaded under a Black Hawk helicopter and dropped anywhere on the battlefield to provide instant mobility. RSOV, Ranger Special Operations Vehicle, the Ranger Rover, a modified Land Rover Defender used by the 75th Ranger Regiment. With the roof and doors removed, it carries heavy machine guns and anti-tank weapons, serving as a rapid airfield seizure vehicle. M1161 Growler, the Osprey Jeep, a specialized tiny Jeep used by the Marine Corps. It is the only vehicle designed specifically to fit inside the narrow V-22 Osprey tiltrotor aircraft, giving Marines instant mobility after a vertical landing. Pander 1 AGMS, the Secret Tank, an Austrian-made 6x6 armored vehicle secretly used by Delta Force and the 75th Ranger Regiment. It features a custom armored hull and high speed, often kept hidden inside hangars and rarely photographed. Pinsgauer 716/718, the Goat, a boxy, high-mobility vehicle used by special operations. It has a unique chassis that allows it to climb almost vertical walls. It is used for covert insertions in difficult terrain where Humvees cannot go. NSCV, non-standard commercial vehicle, the Chameleon, modified Toyota Land Cruisers and Ford trucks fitted with hidden armor plating, run-flat tires, and James Bond-style gadgets. Used by Green Berets to blend into local traffic while protecting the team inside. Next is the Air Force and Base Security. Cadillac Gauge Ranger, Peacekeeper, the Nuke Guard, a four-wheeled armored car used by the U.S. Air Force Security Police. Its primary job was to patrol air bases and protect nuclear missile silos during the Cold War. It looked like a shorter V-100 Commando. Peacekeeper 2, the SWAT truck, the modern replacement for the Ranger. It looks like a standard SUV but is heavily armored, used by Air Force security teams to respond to base intrusions and terrorist threats on American soil. Dragoon 300, the Patroller, a versatile armored car used by the Army and Navy for base security. It was similar to the V-100 but had a more spacious interior, often used to transport nuclear security teams. P-19 fire truck, armored, the Protector. Even the firefighters need armor. These are massive airfield fire trucks fitted with ballistic glass and steel plating, designed to put out burning planes in combat zones while under fire from enemy snipers. Grizzly APC, the Peacekeeper, a specialized armored personnel carrier used by the Army in the 1990s for peacekeeping missions in Bosnia. It was designed to look less aggressive than a tank but still provide protection against snipers. Next is the Marine LAV family. LAV-25, the Raider, an 8-wheeled amphibious vehicle armed with a 25mm Bushmaster chain gun. It is the backbone of marine reconnaissance, capable of swimming from a ship to shore and then driving inland at highway speeds. LAV-AT, anti-tank, the Hammer, an LAV fitted with a specialized pop-up turret that fires TOW wire-guided missiles. It is designed to destroy enemy tanks from miles away while staying hidden behind hills or berms. LAVAD, Air Defense, the Shredder, an LAV armed with a 25mm Gatling gun and Stinger missiles. It exists to blend enemy aircraft into scrap metal, providing air cover for the marine columns. LAVM, Mortar, the Artillery, an LAV with a mortar system mounted in the rear troop compartment. It provides immediate indirect fire support for recon teams, dropping explosives on enemy positions from safety. LAVR, Recovery, the Tow Truck, an LAV fitted with a crane and a high-power winch. Its job is to rescue other vehicles that get stuck in the mud or damaged in combat, ensuring no marine equipment is left behind. LAV C2, Command, the Brain, an LAV with a raised roof filled with radios, maps, and computers. It serves as a mobile headquarters for the battalion commander to direct the battle from the front lines. LAVL, Logistics, the Mule, an LAV designed without a turret to carry maximum cargo. It transports ammunition, food, and supplies to the front lines under full armor protection, feeding the fight. LAV 600, the Exporter, a 6-wheeled variant with a massive 105mm tank gun. It was tested by the US but mostly used for export to allies needing cheap firepower on a mobile chassis. Next is the Army Stryker Brigade. M1126 Stryker, ICV, the Taxi, the standard infantry carrier of the Stryker Brigades. It is fast, quiet, and fully digital, designed to carry a squad of infantry to the fight at highway speeds while linked into the battle network. M1127 Stryker RV, the Scout, a reconnaissance version used to patrol ahead of the main force. It is equipped with advanced long-range optics and sensors to identify targets for the main assault force. M1128 Mobile Gun System, the Glass Cannon, a Stryker fitted with a massive 105mm tank gun. It was designed to bust bunkers, but the gun's recoil was so violent it often broke the vehicle's sensitive electronics, leading to its recent retirement. M1129 Stryker Mortar Carrier, the Rainmaker, a Stryker carrying a 120mm mortar system. It allows the vehicle to stop, fire a barrage of explosives, and drive away before the enemy can return fire. M1130 Stryker Command Vehicle, the headquarters. A Stryker packed with advanced communications gear. It links the brigade commander to air support, artillery, and satellite intelligence, acting as the nerve center of the operation. M1131 Stryker Fire Support Vehicle, the spotter. A Stryker equipped with laser designators and targeting computers. Its job is to guide smart bombs and artillery strikes onto enemy targets with pinpoint precision. M1132 Stryker Engineer Squad Vehicle, the breacher. A Stryker fitted with a mine plow and engineering tools. It is used to clear paths through minefields and wire obstacles, allowing the rest of the convoy to pass safely. M1133 Stryker Medical Evacuation Vehicle, the ambulance. An armored hospital on wheels. It is taller than other Strykers to allow medics to stand up and treat wounded soldiers while pulling them out of the line of fire. M1134 Stryker ATGM, the tank killer. A Stryker armed with a double-barreled tow missile launcher. It provides the brigade with long-range anti-tank capability, destroying enemy armor before it gets within gun range. M1135 Stryker NBC Recon, the sniffer. A Stryker hermetically sealed against nuclear, biological, and chemical threats. It uses advanced sensors to detect toxins on the battlefield without exposing the crew. M1296 Dragoon, the upgrade. The Army realized the standard Stryker lacked firepower, so they cut a hole in the roof and installed a 30mm unmanned cannon turret, turning the taxi into a hunter capable of shredding light armor. Stryker ESV, Electronic Warfare, the jammer. A secret variant packed with antennas and computer servers. It jams enemy communications and drone signals, fighting the invisible war of radio waves. Next is the MRAP revolution. Cougar 4x4, the survivor. A four-wheeled MRAP with a revolutionary V-shaped hull. It was the first vehicle to truly neutralize the IED threat in Iraq, deflecting blast energy away from the crew compartment and saving thousands of lives. Cougar 6x6, the big brother. A larger six-wheeled version of the Cougar. It offers the same blast protection but with increased payload capacity, used for carrying EOD robots or larger squads. Buffalo MPCV, the Claw. A massive six-wheeled truck equipped with a hydraulic robotic arm. It is used by bomb disposal teams to dig up and interrogate roadside bombs from a safe distance inside the armor. Husky VMMD, the detector. A single-seat vehicle that looks like a tractor. It drives in front of convoys using ground-penetrating radar to detect landmines. If it hits a mine, the wheels blow off, but the driver capsule survives intact. Meerkat, the Pioneer, the predecessor to the Husky. A small, single-seat mine detection vehicle used to clear routes before the heavier MRAPs arrived. RG-31 Nyala, the Scrapper. A compact South African MRAP adopted by the U.S. Smaller and more agile than other MRAPs, it was favored by paratroopers and special forces for urban patrols in tight streets. RG-33 the Fortress. A larger, six-wheeled MRAP that improved on the RG-31 design. It carries more troops and served as an ambulance or command post in high-threat IED zones. Cheetah MMPV the Sprinter. A smaller, faster MRAP designed by the makers of the Cougar. It was built to be a high-speed reconnaissance vehicle that could still survive a mine blast. Rhino Runner the Bus. A fully armored bus used in Iraq to transport VIPs, judges, and generals between the Green Zone and the airport. It looked like a prison bus but was tough enough to survive car bombs. International Max Pro the Vault. A towering, awkward-looking truck with a massive armor capsule. It has a high center of gravity and tips over easily, but its capsule is virtually impenetrable to small arms and blast waves. Cayman the Hybrid. Based on the standard cargo truck chassis but fitted with a V-hull and armor capsule. It offered a smoother ride and easier maintenance than the other MRAPs because it shared parts with standard trucks. MATV, MRAP all-terrain vehicle, the off-roader. The early MRAPs were too heavy for the mud and mountains of Afghanistan. The MATV combined the protection of a Cougar with the independent suspension of a racing truck, becoming the standard for off-road patrols. Next is heavy logistics, artillery, and weird tech. M1117 Guardian ASV, the MP tank, a modern descendant of the V100 used by military police. With its enclosed turret and heavy armor, it allowed MPs to escort supply convoys through the most dangerous parts of Iraq. M1200 Armored Knight, the Laser Eye. an M1117 ASV fitted with a massive sensor turret instead of guns. It is used by forward observers to laser designate targets for laser-guided bombs and artillery. M142 HIMARS the Rainmaker, the High Mobility Artillery Rocket System. It is essentially a standard Army truck chassis fitted with a pod of 6 GPS-guided rockets. It can destroy targets 50 miles away and drive off before the rockets even hit. Armored FMTV the Tough Truck, the standard medium cargo truck of the Army, but fitted with an integrated armored cab. It protects the drivers from sniper fire and shrapnel while delivering food and ammo. MTVR, Medium Tactical Vehicle Replacement, the Marine 7-ton, the backbone of Marine Corps logistics. It is a massive off-road truck fitted with the Marine Armor System MAS. It is tough enough to take an IED hit and keep rolling on run-flat tires. HEMTTA-4, Armored, the Beast, a massive 8-wheeled heavy truck with an armored cab. It carries the heavy supplies, fuel, and ammunition that keep the tanks running, proving that logistics is a combat function. M915 Line Hauler, Armored, the Big Rig, a massive commercial-style semi-truck fitted with an armored cab. These trucks ran the dangerous gauntlets of Iraq, hauling massive convoys of supplies while being shot at from overpasses. M1070 HET, Heavy Equipment Transporter, the King of the Road, a massive armored tractor-trailer designed for one purpose, to carry the 70-ton M1 Abrams tank. It is the only wheeled vehicle strong enough to move the Army's heaviest armor over long distances. PLS, Palletized Load System, the Heavy Hauler, a 10-wheeled armored truck designed to drop massive flat racks of ammunition directly onto the battlefield. It ensures that the artillery and tanks never run out of shells. M1977 CBT, Common Bridge Transporter, the Bridge Layer, a massive truck that carries and launches a portable bridge. It allows the Army to cross rivers without stopping, deploying a bridge in minutes under combat conditions. LARC V, the Boat Truck, a massive 4-wheeled amphibious cargo vehicle used by the Navy and Army. It stands on giant tires and can drive from a ship through the surf and onto the beach to deliver heavy supplies. Active Denial System ADS, the Heat Ray, a futuristic truck mounted with a microwave dish. It projects a pain ray for crowd control, forcing people to disperse due to the sensation of intense heat without causing permanent. Next is the Future, JLTV, Joint Light Tactical Vehicle, the Replacement. Designed to replace the Humvee, it combines the blast protection of an MRAP with the speed and agility of a light vehicle. It is the new standard for the U.S. Light Fleet. ACV, Amphibious Combat Vehicle, the Swimmer, the new 8-wheeled amphibious monster replacing the tracked AAVs of the Marine Corps. It launches from ships, swims through the surf, and fights on land with superior armor and speed. M93 Fox, the Chemical Hunter, a German-made 6-wheeled amphibious vehicle used by the U.S. It is a rolling laboratory designed to detect nuclear radiation and chemical weapons on the battlefield.